Update 5 on Typhoon Fitow, which is currently located in the Western Pacific, very close to Miyako-jima in the Japanese Ryukyu Islands. Right now, winds of 105 miles per hour and a pressure of 956 millibars. Current position is 24.9 degrees north, 126.4 degrees east, and the storm's expected to move towards the northwest or maybe even west-northwest in the next 48 hours or so, eventually gradually weakening to a Category 1 storm, passing very close to the northern tip of Taiwan, and then eventually making landfall in China as a borderline tropical storm or typhoon. Typhoon warnings in effect right now for Yaeyama, Miyako and Okinawa Islands, and gale advisories in effect for Daito, Amami and parts of Kyushu in Japan. Typhoon warnings in effect for northern Taiwan, and a red typhoon warning also in effect for the coast of China, which is where the storm's expected to make landfall. Its final landfall at least. This is the probability percentages of tropical storm conditions in the next 96 hours. Very high along those islands, in particular the Miyako Island and Okinawa right now. Same too for probabilities for typhoon conditions, could be occurring already in Miyako-jima, which is where the storm's expected to pass very close to in the next few hours, imminently really, and a small chance of typhoon conditions to be experienced in China. There could be typhoon gusts, typhoon force wind gusts, but probably not sustained winds. The current sea surface temperatures right now, you can see, are fairly warm where the storm is at the moment, around 27-28 degrees Celsius, and that will remain favourable pretty much until landfall in China, when it falls just below 26 degrees. This is what the models are saying right now. The CMC, first of all, having the storm going into China via the northern tip of Taiwan, just offshore, with that next storm Danas forming behind it, which already has, by the way, moving towards the northeast through the Japanese islands and then eventually curving between the Japanese mainland and South Korea. The GFS model says something fairly similar with that regard, to that effect, with another storm forming behind that. Both models are saying another storm forming in the Pacific after that near the Mariana Islands, and that looks like a really intense typhoon moving towards the northern Philippines. That's something else to watch in the next few days. But looking at this storm in particular, Fitow, latest satellite imagery, you can see how the storm's been moving possibly a little bit more west in the past few hours. You can see how it's slowed down in its northward movement and has moved more towards the west in the past few hours, near those islands which aren't marked on this map. You can see some dry air off towards the southwest of the storm over Taiwan and China at the moment, but that's being pushed back just a little bit by the typhoon as it makes its way further towards the west. But that will probably help to be the result of its downfall, the typhoon, in the next few days as it moves towards China. It won't be that intense, at least we've probably seen it peak now, but it will be a gradual weakening process, and Taiwan could well receive some typhoon conditions. China, as a small possibility, may see a typhoon landfall, but at the very least a strong tropical storm. So right now in the world tropics, Invest 93 out there in the eastern Pacific, 20% chance of development. Tropical storm Karen holding on its way to the Gulf Coast of the United States. We also have Typhoon Fitow, of course, tropical storm Danas, which is strengthening fairly quickly, 65 miles per hour right now, could be even more, and Invest 99W, which is still going in the far east. We also have Invest 90W as well, which is located over Thailand at the moment and has a small chance of development over the next few days. So it's our 20th tropical storm. That was actually Danas that became the 20th tropical storm. Fitow is the 19th, the 8th typhoon so far, and 3 of which so far have reached Category 3 intensity. Fitow doesn't look like it will be the 4th, but you never know what may happen in the Western Pacific, but it doesn't seem likely at all that Fitow will put that little bit of extra intensity on to make it the 4th Category 3 typhoon, the 64th busiest season on record so far in the Western Pacific. You can also see what's going on the website. The latest information will be all on there in between videos, so obviously the video gets out of date eventually, but in between now and the next video on Fitow, you might want to check out the website. The main page for it is force13.com/stormtracking.html, where you're presented with the overview map showing where all the storms are, including post-tropical storms and invests, and with tables at the top and bottom showing their intensities and indeed any warnings that are currently in effect. Obviously we have quite a number of warnings in effect here with this storm Fitow, and maybe the same case as well for Danas as that storm approaches Japan and South Korea as time goes on. You can also find us elsewhere on the web, Facebook and Twitter, to search Force 13 on either of those. And please do show your support as always by doing the usual means of engagement: liking, subscribing, commenting, favoriting, subscribing. Did I say that already? Possibly. But anyway, if you have any comments or questions regarding this storm or indeed any others out there, then all you have to do is send in a comment via the YouTube page or by private message if you so wish, and I'll do my best to get to give you a straight answer, I guess. But the next video on Fitow will probably follow at around this time tomorrow, 3 PM UTC. That will be on Sunday, the 6th of October. But until then, that's all for now.